If you have $300,000 to invest in international real estate right now, does that money go further in the Dominican Republic or in Mexico? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video. I'm going to show you exactly what $300,000 buys you in both markets side by side. The actual developments, the real numbers, the legal structures, the rental yields, and the risks. By the end of this video, you will know which market makes more sense for you. My name is Alexander Selector. I'm the co-founder of Dream Second Home, a global referral platform that connects serious international buyers directly with vetted developers. That's all we do. Let's get into it. There's a reason I'm comparing these two specific markets. Both are among the most active destinations for North American buyers right now. Both have strong developer infrastructure, growing tourism numbers, and real pre-construction inventory at the $300K price point. But here's what most people don't realize. These two markets are fundamentally different in terms of legal structure, tax treatment, rental yield profile, and risk. And those differences matter enormously when you're committing $300,000. The Dominican Republic recorded a record 11.6 million tourists in 2025. And Mexico's Riviera Maya, specifically Playa del Carmen, is the sixth most visited tourist destination in the world, and both are not slowing down. But let's start with the DR, because it has some structural advantages that I think are genuinely underappreciated by North American buyers. The developer we work with in the Dominican Republic has been operating in the country since 2003. In over 20 years, they've completed more than 3,000 residential and hotel units, and their total sales volume is over $2 billion US dollars, with another $3 billion in the pipeline. That's not a startup, that's a track record. At Dream Second Home, we only put developers on our platform after we've done rigorous due diligence, including in-person site visits. This developer passed that bar. They're one of the most established developers in Punta Cana, and the development I want to walk you through is a luxury pre-construction resort community in one of the most exclusive beachfront locations in the Caribbean. This is a pre-construction condo hotel project sitting inside one of the most exclusive beachfront communities in the Caribbean. Championship Golf is right there. The beach is steps away. The surrounding area has world-class dining, wellness, and resort amenities. Everything you'd expect from a 5-star destination. The development has 1,319 units across 16 buildings. Mediterranean-inspired architecture, think columns, lush gardens, stone accents. The centerpiece is a pool that at 850 meters long is projected to be the longest in the Caribbean. Units come in 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom layouts, all fully furnished, managed by a professional international hotel management group with decades of experience operating luxury resort properties. At that $300,000 price point, you're looking at the upper end of the 1-bedroom range, or entry-level 2-bedroom. 1 bed start from around $172, 2 beds start around $364. So at $300,000, you have options in both configurations, depending on the phase and unit selection. Now, delivery is December 2028 for phase 1, and that's important. You're buying pre-construction, which means you're getting in at today's price with delivery 2 to 3 years out. That gap is where appreciation happens. Now here's something I want to spend a minute on, because most North American buyers I talk to don't fully understand this until they look at the numbers. The Dominican Republic has a law called CONFOTUR. It's a tourism investment incentive law. If a development is certified under CONFOTUR, then as the buyer, you receive 2 major tax exemptions. First, no property transfer tax at closing. That's normally 3% of the purchase price. So on a $300,000 property, you're talking about $9,000 in savings just on day 1. Second, no annual property tax for 15 years. Property tax in the Dominican Republic is normally 1% per year. On a $300,000 property, that's $3,000 per year, every year, for 15 years. That's $45,000 in tax savings over the life of the exemption. There is no equivalent to CONFOTUR in Mexico, and that distinction matters significantly when you're comparing these two markets on a net return basis. On the rental income side, Punta Cana consistently delivers gross rental yields between 6.5 and 7.1% on average. With professional hotel management in the right property in the right location, well-managed units can reach 8 to 10%. To put that in real dollars, A 290,000 property generating a 7.4% net yield, which is a documented case study from the market, produces about $21.4 in net annual income. That's on a property sitting in a hotel rental pool being managed for you while you're not there. The rental pool structure through this development means you receive 70% of rental revenue and 30% covers operations and maintenance. You don't manage anything, you own the asset. All transactions in the Dominican Republic happen in US dollars. No currency conversion, no peso exposure, no exchange rate risk. For a North American buyer, that's a significant advantage. One more thing before we move to Mexico. Foreign ownership in the Dominican Republic is completely unrestricted. Foreigners have the exact same property rights as Dominican citizens. No special structures, no local partners, no restrictions. You own the property in fee simple in your name. The process is transparent and well established for international buyers. As a bonus, if you invest $200,000 or more in DR real estate, you qualify to apply for Dominican residency. Worth mentioning if that's relevant to your situation. Now let's talk about Mexico. The developer we work with in the Riviera Maya has been operating in Southeast Mexico for over 15 years and is one of the most respected developers in the region. Their track record includes multiple sold-out projects. One of their completed developments saw investor capital grow more than 400% from initial investment to delivery. The project I want to walk you through is a condo hotel development sitting in the heart of Playa del Carmen. Steps from the main beach promenade and a short walk from the ocean. If you've been to Playa del Carmen, you know exactly what this location means. And if you haven't, it's one of the most visited tourist corridors in the world. The building has 116 units in 1, 2, and 3 bedroom configurations, all fully furnished. What makes this development unique is a lock-off system. Your unit is designed so that you can divide it into independent, rentable rooms. So if you have a 2-bedroom, you can rent both rooms separately to different guests at the same time, or use one room for yourself and rent the other. That flexibility is built into the product. Amenities include 3 pools with panoramic views, a sky bar, spa, gym, and everything you'd expect from a hotel-grade condo product. At $300,000, you are right at entry level for this development. Units start from approximately $289,900, so your $300K is a realistic budget for the base configuration here. Now here's where this development gets interesting from an investment standpoint. The building operates as a hotel from day one. A professional hotel management team runs the operation. The documented annual occupancy averages 85% and goes up to 95% during high season. Average nightly rate is $260. Playa del Carmen as a market has a median Airbnb occupancy of 58% across all listings. Top performing properties hit 66% or higher. Short-term rental gross yields in the best locations in Playa del Carmen Centro reach 8.2%, with net yields of 4 to 7% depending on management quality and costs. This development, because it's hotel managed from day one and sits in a prime tourist location, is positioned to outperform the market average. And the occupancy numbers from their previous delivered phases back that up. Now let's address the question I get every time I talk about Mexican real estate with North American buyers. What is a fideicomiso and should I be worried about it? Here's the simple version. The Mexican Constitution restricts foreigners from directly owning land within 50 kilometers of the coast or 100 kilometers of an international border. That covers most of the Riviera Maya. The solution is a bank trust called a fideicomiso. A Mexican bank holds the title on your behalf. You are the beneficiary of the trust. You have all the rights of ownership. You can use it, rent it, sell it, pass it on to your heirs. The trust just holds the title. This is not a workaround or a loophole. It's a legally established system for foreign ownership of a coastal property in Mexico. Millions of foreigners own property this way. The cost is an annual fee, typically around $500 to $700 USD per year, and an initial setup fee. That's the recurring cost of the structure. Worth knowing, worth factoring into your numbers, but not a reason to avoid Mexico. Our developer partner handles the fideicomiso setup for their buyers through established legal channels. It's a standard part of the purchase process. One thing worth understanding about pre-construction in the Riviera Maya, you're buying into an appreciation cycle. Playa del Carmen prices have increased more than 50% in recent years. A concrete example, a condo reserved in early 2024 for $180,000 was worth approximately $220,000 by the time it was delivered in 2026, without ever being rented or lived in. That's the capital appreciation built into the pre-construction model when you have a credible developer in the right location. Alright, let's put these two markets side by side and look at what $300,000 actually gets you. Both markets are accessible entry points at $300K. DR, you're in the upper 1-bed or entry 2-bed range. Mexico, you're right at entry level from $289,900. With legal structure, DR, you own directly in your name, same rights as a citizen, no recurring fees. Mexico, you go through a fideicomiso bank trust, safe and standard, but about $500 to $700 a year in fees. Tax advantages. This is where the DR pulls ahead. CONFOTUR gives you zero transfer tax at closing. That's $9,000 saved on day one. And zero property tax for 15 years, which is another $45,000 over the life of the exemption. Mexico has nothing equivalent to this. Rental yields in both markets are strong. DR sits at 6.5 to 10% gross, with 70% of revenue going directly to you. Mexico delivers 4 to 8.2% gross, with exceptional hotel managed occupancy averaging 85%. Currency. DR is fully USD. Mexico is USD priced with some peso exposure on operating costs. Appreciation. DR prime beachfront is projected at 9 to 13% growth in 2026, with a 5-year total return of 60 to 85%. Mexico Playa del Carmen prices are up more than 50% in recent years, with a strong pre-construction appreciation cycle. Residency. DR qualifies you for a residency option application at $200K or more. Mexico has no equivalent at this price point. Unique features. DR has an 850-meter pool projected to be the longest in the Caribbean, beach club, championship golf, and the CONFOTUR exemption. Mexico has the lock-off system, which allows you to rent rooms independently, and a world-class location steps from the beach. When you look at the full picture, the tax advantages, the simpler legal structure, the USD transactions, the DR has a structural edge at this price point that most North American buyers underestimate. That said, Mexico's occupancy numbers are exceptional, and the lock-off flexibility is genuinely unique. Neither market is the wrong answer. They suit different buyer profiles, and I'll get into that right now. I'm not going to name our developer partners publicly, but if you want to know exactly who we work with in both markets and get a direct introduction, go to dreamsecondhome.com and submit an inquiry. That's what we're there for. So which market is right for you? Here's how I think about it. If your priority is maximizing tax efficiency and net returns, and you want the simplest legal structure with no recurring trust fees, the Dominican Republic is hard to beat at $300,000. CONFOTUR alone is a structural advantage that Mexico cannot match. If your priority is lifestyle and you want a property in the middle of the most vibrant beach towns in the world, with strong hotel managed occupancy, built-in flexibility through the lock-off system, and proximity to Fifth Avenue, our developer partner in Mexico is a compelling case. The biggest mistake I see international buyers make is not doing due diligence on the developer. It doesn't matter how good the market is if the developer doesn't deliver. That's the problem we built Dream Second Home to solve. Every developer on our platform has been personally vetted. That's the starting point. Everything else comes after. If you want to explore either of these markets, go to dreamsecondhome.com, submit an inquiry, and we'll route you directly to the right developer. No sales call from us, no consultation, no pressure, just a direct introduction to the developer. That's the whole point of what we do. The link is in the description below. And if this was useful, subscribe. We put out one video a month covering markets like this, with real developer data and real numbers. That's it.